Welcome back everyone to our Let's Play series of transports. So in our last video we finally got to get our first airports up and going, and just a quick glance at under the show vehicles tab for planes, and you can see, I mean, you're making tons and tons of money with airplanes just like you can with the trains. So those are definitely where you can get lots of money. Not to say you can't do the same thing with ships as well. And also keep in mind that we are very early on in the game. We're only at 1960, so we haven't really begun to unlock the much better upgraded versions of the various trucks and trains and planes and everything. So as time goes on in the game and time passes, we'll have access to better and better equipment that can have higher capacities and also can travel faster. So all of this is just going to continue to get better as we go on through the game. But for this particular episode, I thought we would, in the spirit of how we've been doing this Let's Play, I found something different on the track. We're not going to abandon the airports by any stretch of the imagination. Again, they're making us tons of money, so we're definitely coming back to that. But I wanted to show you guys something a little bit different. So as I was looking around the map, around our two huge cities here, I noticed that we had a farm. And the farm is a little bit unique to me, and I really enjoy these because they produce two products that are very basic for the needs of a city. They produce crops, and they also produce livestock. Now, both of these can be turned into food, which if we come back down to one of our cities, under the commodities, you can see we got passengers and mail, which we've been dealing a lot with. Then you got goods and you've got food. And then there's a semi-luxury food, which we haven't gotten into yet. But food is one of the things that we can deliver to the city. So farms are very useful for doing that. All right, and so in order to take care of this, we need to figure out, okay, what industries are going to use these two items and how close by are they? Well, you can actually click on the item and it'll move it right over, and lo and behold, right nearby, we have a bakery that will take those crops, add water to that, and they'll produce bread, which it lets you know bread is a food for a city. All right, that's awesome. What about the livestock? How nearby is the butcher? And how about that? Very nearby is the butcher. So if we can have a railroad set up that will connect this farm with the bakery and the butcher, then we can get some food going. But of course, over here, we're going to need water as well. Now, where are we going to get water? Again, we could click on that, but I already know it's right down here. Now, that's going to be a little bit more interesting to run our tracks up and through there, but I think it should be a lot of fun. And who knows, we might even get a chance to build some bridges as time goes on here, because I don't think we've built any bridges with our train tracks just yet. All right, so in looking at our terrain here, you can see we've got some ugly looking terrain here as far as building tracks over. So what I'm going to start off by doing, as a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and start the game going. No reason for it to really be stopped. All right, let's see if we can't raise the terrain. There we go. Okay, I like that a little bit better. That smooths things out a little bit and gives us some avenues where we can come out with our train tracks. And then over here, okay, we want to, yeah, let's raise that. That gives us some nice smooth areas over here, because we're going to have two sets of tracks. Oh, wait a minute. While we're at it, this doesn't cost very much money at all. You can see only $1,300 per. So not an issue as far as money goes. So we're going to run two sets of tracks. One that's going to go straight over here to the bakery, and then the other that's sort of come up here and then do a 90-degree angle and then another 90 to get over to the butcher. All right, so I think we've done all the terraforming that we need to do. At least I think so. So let's see, where do we want to put our first train station? Let's sort of work this one backwards. And I think I want to put it as close here as I can get it to this water area. So let's go ahead and put it right there and move all the way across and there. Okay, that looks pretty good to me, and that keeps us out of any weird terrain issues. Now let's get back on the tracks. And for now, we're just going to set it up for a single train. If we need to do our alternate path here for the second train and possibly even a third train as well, then we can do that later on. But for now, let's just set it up for a single train. And now let's go back to our train station. And let's see, I think I want to come off right here. I don't want to get near this weird angle. So let's just go ahead and do that. That should be pretty nice. Okay, let's bring our train tracks out of there. And I'm going to come right to the edge here, I think. I don't see any reason why that shouldn't be okay. Who knows, we might find out a reason later. And then I'm just going to bring it straight up, and we're going to do a simple 90-degree angle. And let's bring this in to our train station there. Okay, we should be all set there. And we've had some issues with building the depots and the tracks and getting everything connected in the past. And so what I did is I actually tried updating to the the public beta build, which has a lot of bug fixes for trains. And unfortunately, it broke our save. So I couldn't use our existing save. We were going to have to start all over again. So for now, I've chosen to go back to the public release and use our existing save. At some point, as I mentioned in the past, that's no longer going to be possible. So we're going to have to start over. But for now, I think we're good. Okay, I think everything's connected up. I'm looking for now the little stop signs that appear on the train tracks if something's not connected. I don't see any, so I think we're good. And what I'm going to do is actually put a depot on each individual track. Again, that's one of the things I've had some issues with, so I'm not even going to worry about that. Depots don't cost that much, and even if they did, we're not really terribly worried about that. We got money coming in left and right. All right. And again, you notice I'm going back over these tracks even though nothing is changing. It seems to just be spending money. But again, I've had some issues with the train tracks. So I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. All right, let's go ahead and get our first train moving. So remember, we got two products coming out. And for this particular track here on the bottom, we're going to want for crops. Okay, so let's go ahead and buy the 51, indicating 1951 is when it was released. And so let's go back into our depot, add trailer, and I'm going to go ahead, oh, there it is, crop right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get as many of these as I can, even though I don't know that we'll necessarily need them. Again, cost is not what I'm worried about here. We're not trying to run a real world company. We're having fun in a game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 should be the max. We'll click it one more time. Yeah, no further trailers, so 6 is the max. And let's do information. So now we need to set up our schedule. Okay, and so we need to add a stop here and then over at our bakery. And if everything goes well, our train will be off and running, and that is indeed the case. All right, and of course, as we've seen before, it'll take a little bit before this particular depot starts to fill up. Yep, it takes that first time through for the train in order for that to start to fill up. Now, we know our train has capacity of 150 tons. And so kind of the way I decide whether or not I want to have just one train on this route, because it's a fairly short route, whether I want to have one train on it or two trains, a big part of it is how quickly does this fill up? Oh, and I've already seen we're at 100 of 100. So I want to upgrade this. Let's see, 200. Let's go all the way up to 300 again. It doesn't cost us all that much money. So we'll go ahead and max it out. You see if I click it again, it says it cannot be upgraded anymore. So we're up at 300 on this one. So let's just go ahead and see. All right, we got a full load for our train. And we'll get an idea here to see. Also, you can see the color there of the crops in the back. I like that. It's a nice touch. And we're going to see how quickly it fills up. All right, so already I can tell. I think we could run 2 trains off of this. Now, each train, it doesn't look like it's going to quite be full if we do that, but I think we can get by with doing that. But first, before we get into that, let's don't get ahead of ourselves. We want to set up this other track as well. because there's so much to do in this game, so many different opportunities and options, that it's easy to get busy chasing squirrels and get off of what you're trying to do. All right, oops, I purchased that in the wrong one, so that's the wrong depot. So we'll come back to that one later, because we'll, as I've already talked about, we'll be adding another train, so it's not going to be wasted money. Just cost us a little bit in upkeep along the way. All right, so let's buy our first train here. And on this particular section of track, I'm pretty sure I'm going to want at least 2 trains. So we'll come back momentarily and we'll try to add our additional track and our signals and all that. But for now, let's go ahead and get 1 train moving. All right, so we've got that. And for this trailer, we're going to need a livestock. So let's add trailer, and right below the crop is the livestock. So once again, I'm going to max this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that should be it. Yes, one more is too many. So we'll click on information and schedule, add stop here, and then over to the butcher. And we should be all set to enable that one. And here comes our train. So we'll get it going. And while we're looking at that, I want to get a glimpse at how much money we're making for this particular train. Each delivery, and we're getting how much? 37,801. Okay, very nice. And now let's click on our other train. You can see it has a capacity of 90 tons. And if we start looking, you can see, oh wow, this is going to get to 90, looks like pretty quickly. And once again, we're going to need to upgrade this. Not going to cost us that much, so we'll go ahead and upgrade it to maximum capacity of 300. Because like I said, we're going to want to have at least 2 trains on here, and possibly 3 would not be a bad idea. Okay, yeah, I think we're going to be okay. Again, even if we have 2 trains on the tracks and they're not fully at capacity on each one of them, that's still perfectly fine. We're still going to be making lots of money on that. All right, so we're at 135 by the time it gets back. Yeah, if we have 2 trains on this top track, I don't think we're going to quite get to full capacity on them, but that's not a big deal. All right, let's go ahead and work on this bottom area. And let's see, where do we want to put? Actually, I think I may go to the top side. I was thinking about going to the bottom for this alternate area. Instead, I think I'm going to go to the top and do it that way. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. We'll put it to about right. I don't want to get it too close to the station because this is where our supply is coming from, and I want to give it as much time as possible. So how about we stop it right about there, and then we'll go here and then connect these off. Okay, let's make sure, we'll go back over this again just to make sure our connections are what we want. Okay, so now we'll set up our signals. We'll start off with the 2-way signal. And oh, here we go with the arrows. I am terrible with these arrows. All right. We want, nope, that's exactly opposite of what we want. We want the green on the side of the station. So we'll put that one there, and then we'll scroll over to this side, and wasn't it this way? Nope, exactly opposite of that. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to snug this up against this station. Then we're going to get our 1-way signals, and we're going to get started with those. All right, so, oh, that's perfect, because I want the train to come down the main route. Okay, excellent. So we'll put that one there. And that one at the other end. And then we'll spin this thing around. And let's see, I don't remember, was it this way? Yeah. Okay, so that'll be good there. And that should be good there. All right, now we'll actually have a chance to see if our signal works, because if it works, our train coming back should take this alternate route. And okay, he does. All right, let's go ahead and pause right now because he's getting to this signal here, and this is going to give me an opportunity to actually go back into our depot, our train that we've already purchased. We need to add trailer, and we need to add the crop trailers. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And information. Let's set up our schedule again. Scroll out just a little bit. So we want them to go here to here. And then, all right, let's go ahead and get that going. So that should, yeah, that'll stop the one train here and get us going with our second train. Now our second train should have a full load. Okay. It does. Now we're down to 24. You can also see there's some waste here that's accumulating. We're not going to be dealing with that. We're not going to worry about that because I don't think that would actually make us enough money to even worry about. But it is something that you could deal with. I believe there is a trailer for that. I really haven't spent a whole lot of time looking for it, so I can't remember for sure. But that is something else we could deal with. But right now, we're not going to worry about it. All right, let's see how much we had there. Oh, only 46 out of 150. Wow. All right, so maybe we're not going to have near as much as I thought. We'll just have to see how that works out. And as long as both of these trains are making money, I'll probably just leave it as it is. But of course, if you wanted to max out and go really efficient, then obviously we wouldn't need as many trailers on each of these trains as we have, or maybe you just stick with one train. Either way, it'll be fine. But for our purposes and our Let's Play, we're not going to spend any time worrying about that. In fact, as I've mentioned before, I kind of like just watching the trains. So this is kind of like a miniature train set for me. And so yeah, if that works out like that, then we've got 2 trains here. I'm happy with it. But you guys can see if you want to set it up differently, then I definitely wouldn't blame you for money purposes. All right, let's come up to the top. And I think I want to set up somewhere down in here. Looks like a good idea. Again, I'm trying to give as much room. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's come to about right there. And so I'm going to come to there. And then I'm going to go to about right there. I think that'll be good. Now, if we wanted to do 3 trains on this track, I'd want to make this longer. But I think 2 is probably going to be what we're looking for. Also, while I'm thinking about it, another option that you have is that you can increase production here. And we may end up doing that here just momentarily, just to see what it does. But that's another option, that you can increase the production of the farm. Will that give us enough for what we realistically need? Who knows? But again, that's part of the fun of the game. All right, so let's go ahead and connect these up. And then I'm going to try to avoid any issues with the train tracks by coming right back over those. And okay, now we need to come back in and put our signals. And I'm going to leave the train moving while we're doing that. We're up to 22.5 million. So again, money is streaming in, and that's why I'm not worried about having 2 trains on this bottom area and it being inefficient. So here we go. Let's see. Oh, that's perfect. That's what we want. So let's come back over to the other side. And again, all these two-way signals are doing is they are creating a section of track. They're dividing the track into sections. So what we're ending up doing, as we talked about in the original video where we talked about the signals, all we're doing is we're creating sections of track for each time a train gets to a signal. It looks to see if the next section of track ahead of them is open. If it is, they continue going. If it's not, they stop and they wait for it to be cleared. All right, so let's go ahead and set up our main path through here. Let's see what we've got. Oh, perfect. The direction is perfect. Now we're going to have to swap it. Yeah, that's not going to be good. Let's see, is that it? No, it's exactly the opposite of that. Okay, I thought it was. Oops, never mind. I picked the wrong one. All right, so let's get it right up to the edge here. There we go. Now let's spin this around because this will be our alternate path on the way back. Okay, and I think that's this one. Yeah, it's that direction. And no, wait a minute now. Why are you going? Oh, he's going that way, probably. All right, hold on. Let's go ahead and pause. Looked like he got confused there for a moment. And that's could entirely be my fault with these signals, but I think we got them set up right. Okay, let's see how that works out. All right, so he's going to come up here. By the way, okay, he's fully loaded. And all right, we're doing pretty good there. Yeah, I think these on top, this route on top is going to end up with the same issues what we have on the bottom. Okay, 56 grand. And he's making a nice profit. So hard to be upset about that. Let's see what we get. Okay, he takes the alternate route. That's exactly what I need him to do. Okay, good. I like it. So what I'll do at this point is let's go ahead and purchase our next train. So we got the 51. Let's purchase that. We need to add trailers, and we're going to add livestock trailers. 6. We max it out. Once again, not that we need it maxed out. Let's go ahead and schedule, add a stop. If we can get to it. There we go. And then the other one here. And we should be good to go. And we'll make sure our signals are right and that there are no issues with the track. So far, so good. All right, let's see what these guys are up to. All right, it's only 64 there. So yeah, we're going to try to increase that production here in just a moment. But first, I want to sort of take a glance here. Let's see what we've got. 72 out of 90. Okay, so we're probably going to want to increase the production here as well. All right, so far so good. And this guy can keep going because there is nothing in the way of his path. Okay, so I think we're in good shape. All right, so this guy only gets 60. And then if we click on here, there's 42, 47. Okay, yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and click, oops, wrong one. We need the actual building. And let's increase production. Now, it doesn't tell me how much, but it's 2.1 million. And again, we're over 25 million. So let's have some fun with this. And let's increase one time. And then we'll give that a little bit of time to work itself out. And in fact, what the good thing about that is it's going to increase the production of both of these. So if we need to do it again, I'm perfectly fine with that as well, so that we can continue making money. And we'll give this a little bit of time because I'm really interested to see how this works. All right, let's see what we've got here. So we got 56 out of 90. This guy got 72. All right, now let's see what we're going to get here. So we're going to have 60, 67, 74. All right, so 88. Yeah, we got 88 there. Okay, so a little bit higher than what we had last time. So I got a feeling we're going to need to increase the production again. Okay, let's look up on top. See what he's getting. 78 out of 90. Okay, so he's getting plenty. Let's see how much is here for us this time. 93. Okay, so here's what I think I want to do. I think we need to increase production one more time. And because I think if we increase production one more time, what that's going to do for us is give us the benefit of, number one, I think it's going to get us a lot closer to filling out the capacity of our 2 train system down here. Plus, I think it's going to give us the ability up top to fill out not only 2, but possibly 3 trains up on our top section. So let's go ahead, come back in here, increase production. Again, we're at 4.2 million is not a huge deal for us. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so this guy got 80 of 90. Okay, let's see what's waiting up here. So remember, 90 is capacity for one of our trains. And I want to see if we can get by with 3 up here on top, because I kind of want to do that. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to extend this track out a little bit more, which is perfectly fine with me. Let's see what this guy got. All right, he got filled up. Okay, so he's good to go, which means that because of that increased production, this next train that comes down, this should be up to 90 by the time he gets there. Okay, so I think we're going to be in good shape. And if we add a third one, then probably what that's going to do is definitely have us running at less than capacity. Okay, so maybe we won't go a third one right now. Yeah, I think that would take a little bit too much out. All right, let's see how we're doing on the bottom. All right, 126 now. Out of 50, let's see how close we're getting. Okay, we're going to be, it's a little bit more. You can see the increased production here. It's going to be about 120 each time for these trains. So that's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take that. And you can see we can continue increasing production. It's just going to take a little bit more money each time we do that. But I think we're in good shape here. I like, now I will tell you that the way I was going to do this for 3 trains is I was going to extend this track on down to probably somewhere in this area and then connect it back up. And then I would have not only a signal at the beginning and end of the track, but I would also have one sort of in between those two, just for that third train, just in case. But right now everything's working good with 2 trains, and yeah, so we're maxed out there. I think we're in good shape so far, but I don't know that we have quite enough demand just yet for a third train. All right, so that's going very well. That's the main thing I wanted to accomplish in today's video. Again, we are doing great on the money. I wanted to show you guys just some different things, and these, of course, all of these industries are all across the map. The key is to find what's nearby. Okay, this was an easy one because it would have been actually perfectly fine if we only had one of these nearby, but it turns out we have 2. Now, the other thing we need, if we want to, is to actually run water. Okay, now we talked about the water is down here, so we've got a couple of options. We can either come up through here, build a bridge over, and then come straight up to provide that way, which isn't a terrible idea, or we can just do the standard come up and over that way, or we could even go all the way up, build a bridge over, across, and do it like that. Now, I'm kind of leaning toward building a bridge just simply because of the fun of it. But here's what we can do on this particular idea. All right, we have the possibility to combine a couple of things. All right, and what I mean by that is we can have the train not only pick up water here and bring it back, but it could also pick up the food from here while it's there and carry it back. So we could be carrying loads both ways. Now, in doing so, we're going to have to compromise and purchase 2 different types of trailers, but it's an option, and an option that I'm thinking I want to try out because I haven't done that before that I can remember, but because usually what I do is I end up building just multiple train tracks just because I enjoy doing it. But I think what we're going to do, in fact, let's go ahead and do this now. All right, we're going to build, first things first, let's go ahead and just build a bridge. We've got plenty of money. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and build a bridge. Let's start it right there. And let's go ahead, let's see. How far over do I need to bring this? I'll tell you what, we might need to do this a little bit backwards as well. Let's go ahead and approach it that way. So we're going to go train track. Let's see. I want to catch a little bit of the city here. But let's see, I can't get right there. How about if I go... All right, that should be good. I think that will be good. We'll give it a shot anyway. And if it turns out not to be good, well, then we'll deal with that. All right, so let's go all the way up. And let's see, somewhere about right there. We'll leave it for now. And then we're going to get our bridge. And we're going to build all the way over. I like it. Let's zoom in and see our bridge. Oh, that looks good. I like that. Okay, now we need to connect everything. Make sure there's no stop signs or anything like that. Okay, then we'll do the same thing over here. Connect that. And connect that. Okay, I think we're good to go. And of course, we can have multiple trains on this section as well. And as a matter of fact, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Okay, so commodities, we're going to go ahead and upgrade this as well. And let's see, we need a depot. So we'll go ahead and put one out here somewhere nearby. How about we put one... let's see, where do we want to put a depot? Let's put one right over here. And let's see if I can get this thing pointing in the right direction. Let's try it right there. Okay. Okay, let's try to get a steam locomotive. And what I'm going to try to do here, because we're going to be bringing water in, so let's go ahead and do, we'll just keep this simple. Let's do 3 water tanks. 1, 2, 3. And then we want to do food. Foodstuffs appears to be the one we're looking for. And then do 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I like the look of that. We'll go ahead and copy that. I'm not exactly sure how many we're going to need. This may be one of those we want 3 trains on, but for now we'll stick with the 1. And let's set up our schedule. Add our stop from there all the way down here, and let's get it going. So it's going to come out and go to, how about that for a turn? It's going to come out and go, okay, you can see our water capacity is 9,000. Food is 60 tons. So let's just sort of see how this thing fills up. Okay, how about that? It has not filled up at all just yet. Well, that's not good. Are we not? Oh, we're not getting any energy here. Okay. All right, we're not getting any energy there, so we'll have to come back in our next video and take a look at that. Should have looked at that already. But let's see if we start to fill up there. There we go. So the water tank is, the water side of this is filling up. Okay, that's great. That's what we want. So then when we come back next time, we'll have to deal with the fact that we have no power here. So we'll deal with finding the source of the power for this and then trying to see if we can go about establishing that so we can get our train running. So that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode and as well as the series. So thank you very much for joining me and stay tuned for more of our Let's Play series of transports.